Blast off?
That time I didn't hit the music.
Third time's the charm.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
This is the time, this is the place, and this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky. And since everything is geeky, if you love it enough, you never know what you're gonna get. This is your host, IMC. This week we'll be talking Nerd World News, the upcoming Infinity Wars, remakes, reboots, and adaptations. We're going to talk Star Trek, comics, and more. After that, stick around for our Everyday Hero shout-out and our question of the week. Hi, gang.
Hi.
In the studio with me, as always, the irrepressible Billy DeTore.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing, Billy?
Good.
Are we having fun yet?
Yes.
Good deal. It's a nice sunny day out today.
It is.
I'm enjoying this.
Oddly. Luckily, it's going to get much colder and very windy tonight.
Well, good. I need that consistency in my life.
And there's possible snow.
And there's possible snow, because it's Rochester, and that's what happens.
We need 60-mile-an-hour winds because, it's not as good as the 80 we had last year.
Oh, I know. I was actually at work during the windstorm last year, and I remember I was driving down J Street, and I looked to my left, just looking down Pool Street, just in time to see a tree go over and cross Pool Street and smash a car.
I was taking the bus home from work, and the bus had to pull over because the wind ripped the back off the bus.
Oh my God!
Yeah, yeah, it ripped it like the
back panel.
Yeah,
wow.
So they had to pull over and then they couldn't get someone out there, so we wound up tying it down so they could continue on their travel.
Got a ratchet strap going.
See, when you said tear the back off the bus, the first thing I thought of was one of those articulated double buses, and then the back half got ripped off.
No, that would have been cool.
That would have been a windstorm.
That would have been cool.
Also in the studio today, without her headphones on, is Tanya Metris. Hello, Tanya.
Hi. I'm trying to do volunteer stuff also for FC3.
So you're multitasking over there right now.
I am multitasking. I'm doing what Sarah was so observant about.
Yes.
Talking and things like that. Yes. We was just looking that if anyone is wanting or willing to volunteer to just go into the system and give us the volunteer application, just so we have you in the system, because then we know where to put somebody and what. They're all in one spot because we have so many people on like the Area 42 and things like that. And when we look at the actual applications, we only have 14. But we know we have so many more people.
Right. So we're getting that orchestrated.
In one space.
Gotcha.
So
if you're interested in volunteering,
I am putting the link up on my Facebook page.
And the FC3 Facebook.
And then it'll go up on the FC3 page also.
Okay. Because not a lot of people who listen to us will actually have you as their personal Facebook friend.
No, but they should.
You are just that delightful, I got to tell
you.
Also in the studio today, producer Sherry's with us.
Hi.
Hi, honey. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Having more fun than I conceivably know what to do with.
You have a very low bar.
Well, that's how I managed to survive the past few years. It's really.
Boy.
And associate producer Chris is also in the studio today. Hello, Christopher. How are you?
I'm good.
We collect Chris's here in this organization.
How many do we have?
Well, there's just the two of us, I think.
Just the two of us.
I can't. I can't think of any other Chris's right now.
No. We collect.
You collect Chris's.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be us.
You have like 6 of them in your life at this point, don't you,
do.
Sharon? You have like a couple
so.
of DMs and.
Yeah, there's a couple more than that when you start adding the females in.
Oh, true.
But my first apartment in college, 3 people. All of us were Chris's.
That's nice. That's good.
My second apartment, 2 of us were Chris's. And it was a different Chris. So
I threw off my dad's side of the family. His younger sister has 3 children of her own. The oldest is my cousin Christine. And Christine has a husband named Eric. So there's a Chris and Eric in Ottawa. And then here in Rochester, my soon-to-be ex-wife and I, it's Chris and Erica. So we would throw the family off. Is Chris and Erica or Chris and Eric? Wait, who are we talking about? I don't know. It's just too confusing. So we solved that. But there was some dark humor there. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, where are we? We're doing this. We're doing a thing. Sponsor shout-outs. Let's play with that. That's fun. As always, you're going to hear this list, and most of you who have been listening to the show regularly is going to be able to recite this fairly verbatim at this point. We've got a big shout-out for Knox Craft Cocktails and Comfort Foods at the Village Gate Mall. Selena's, the best Mexican food in Rochester, also at the Village Gate Mall.
When are you taking? us to go to.
What are you doing after we record? You think I'm kidding? I'm not taking it back to my house. It's been a laundry explosion. There's nowhere to sit.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have couches at my house right now. It's just piles of laundry all over the place.
Which is interesting considering how many couches you have at your house.
Yes, I know. Seriously, I've got like 3 of them at the moment.
Yeah, it exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody did a laundry marathon. They just didn't fold as they went. It's just piles all over the place. So, if you guys are interested in not rushing home, we can definitely do that now. Well, not now. We got a podcast now. First Print Comics over on Buffalo Road, The Great Escape Room over on University, and Wibbly Wobbly, Timey Wimey, the folks who are bringing you Caitlin Blackwood, the young Amelia Pond from Doctor Who. We were talking about it. Has Caitlin is she working on anything else right now? Do we know that? Can you go to her IMDb page, perhaps? Am I going to vamp my ass off while you find out some information over there?
C-A-I-T. Oh, wait, is it K? Let me look.
Wait, hang on a second. Hang on a second.
You guys are all assholes.
Yes, but you love us.
I wasn't picking on you.
She was giggling, though, so that's like guilt by association, unfortunately. It's one of those things.
Oh, you made me mess up. Now I got to start over.
She
is currently in pre-production for Journey Bound, being a shop girl.
Okay.
And there was one that was completed in 2017 called Sundown. It's a short.
Okay. So she's getting her career started.
Yes.
Young lady's up and coming, and you're going to get a chance to meet her in June if you come to Flower City Comic Con. Let me rephrase that. When you come to Flower City Comic Con.
That's much better.
I like that. See, Dan will
Power of positive speech.
Exactly. So.
Hypnotize. You will
come to the Flower City Comic Con.
Okay, now loop that underneath us talking, Billy.
Yeah. Okay.
Subliminal messaging.
Mr. Subliminal.
Yeah, that's it.
So our listener in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
I just all of a
I
sudden
gotta fly all the way
I have to go to Rochester, New York.
But they do.
I gotta do a big shout out because not only this is like the farthest our podcast has reached was to the Czech Republic, but not only that, but that person took the time to give us a comment and some feedback, and a lot of it was very positive, but definitely some there was some things that they pointed out, and I love that. That was great.
They were a little worried about the number of voices that we have on.
Because sometimes
I can't understand what he'd be talking. No.
Yeah. Sometimes it get a little populated.
I don't know what he.
Where's something to throw at Billy?
Well, we're very grateful.
We need to be careful. Chris is very breakable today.
Oh, which one, me or him?
Me. Oh, my God. I almost had to pull over on the thruway because I got laughing. I broke myself.
Oh, dear Lord. That's talent.
Do not mention Paris Hilton.
Oh. But, as she mentions Paris Hilton. That's wonderful.
Okay.
So, what are we
No, I just had the image of... So, are we going to
Selena's after this?
Yeah, I guess we're going to go to Selena's after this.
Oh.
So
I had the image...
You're going to join us, right?
I guess so.
Yes, you are.
I guess I'll have to bring leftovers home to my house. Sorry, Chris.
That's okay. No, I can wait. It's fine. I had the image of Paris Hilton as a political pundit.
Oh,
no. Yeah.
Oh, so you're talking about Tommy Lahren then?
Wow.
But talking like she talks.
Oh, okay.
And, oh, my God. I couldn't get the visual out of my head nor the auditory. So it was a while before
Tommy Lahren is
laughing.
basically Paris Hilton with a political job. That's all there is to it. I'm saying that. Anyway, that was my observation for the day. The room goes dead.
Does he have a pretty good voice? Because she does.
Tommy Lahren is a blonde little. She's a Barbie girl.
I don't know who she is.
She's
very attractive
in a Trumpy world.
Okay, then I know who she is only vaguely because I see that and I walk out of the room.
There you go.
Because I really can't listen to.
I'm lost.
We're moving on now.
What is Patreon?
Patreon.
I'm glad you asked.
I'm so glad you asked. What is Patreon? Patreon is a membership platform that makes it easy for you to support Monkey Business and Flower City Comic Con. Please check us out at www.patreon.com/FC3ROC. Patreon, spelled Patreon. Somebody asked me the other day. All membership levels will include access to the Patreon-only blog, plus tons of great perks at all levels.
More videos?
More videos. I've been doing that on a fairly weekly basis. I did miss a couple of weeks ago, but I made up for it. So
You did.
I did. Okay, maybe it might be a prediction, but anyway. And the director's blog is going to be something I'm going to do on a fairly regular basis. Where and it's funny. I'm always parked in my car while I'm at work. I'll be like in a parking lot, or I'll be sitting off to the side, and I'll be like, "Hey, I should do a blog," and I start talking to my freaking phone.
And then you see City of Rochester.
Chris. Yeah, I see my my logo on my shirt.
Yeah, that's okay because I'm going to start taking blackmail videos that when he doesn't post one, I'm just going to start posting random videos like I did of you and your son singing.
Oh, cosplay karaoke.
Cosplay karaoke. You know what? I don't think anyone got video of us singing at the end.
I don't think.
I was too busy helping you sing.
Deb might have.
I think Deb.
I think
yes.
Deb
I
might have.
have to
Deb
say
might have,
because
yeah.
I'll
I
have to
don't.
text Deb.
Yeah.
I don't recall anything.
That was fun. I was embarrassed.
You two singing Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
No, by the
love that song.
By the console light.
Yeah, but you didn't. You only said console once. You stuck with Dashboard from there on.
No,
in.
no.
No.
We
Stop
did it-
right there.
Bam, bam,
No, we
bam.
did console like
know
every
right now.
time.
Yeah.
Every single
Will
time.
you love me forever?
Do you need me?
Will you never leave me?
Will you make me so happy for the rest of my life? Will you take me away? Will you make me your wife? I gotta know right now.
It's only going.
Do
Okay,
you love
and-
me?
You don't
The
need
thing
me
is,
anymore.
Forever, do you need me?
And
Will
Billy
you
Joel's
let
one.
me
Billy.
live? Will you
We
make me
need
so
Billy.
happy
We
for the
needed
rest of
Billy.
my life?
Will you take
Billy's the
You
man.
away, will you make me your wife? I gotta know right now. Before we go any further, do you love me? Will you love me forever?
Okay, this has gone way off the rails.
Want to
Okay,
help others
so-
find the show?
Okay, there is no cat wrangler today. All the cats are loose, and the wrangler has become a cat.
Is this the part where we all talk too much?
Yes, this is it.
Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, want to
Thank
help
you,
others
good
find
night.
the show. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, please. Especially after this episode, we're gonna need the reassurance.
Because I know I can't sing, but doesn't mean I won't.
Exactly.
That's how I am about dancing.
Let's see. What else? We want this to be a conversation, so every review will be thanked on the air, and any questions that you pose us will be answered, including, yes, that was indeed Tanya singing.
And Billy. And
Billy,
Sherry.
and Sherry, and
And
Chris,
Chris.
and me.
Yeah, we all
And
do.
then you
And then I got up and tried to leave, but I realized, wait a minute, I'm the host. I have to come back. Whoops.
So please send us your questions because we would love to answer them.
Yeah,
on
we
air.
think we know what we're doing half the time. So
We
you
know what we're doing.
Sometimes we just know we're doing it badly.
Yes, there we go.
Today is definitely a side quest.
That's the applause button. Hit
That's
the
what
applause
this
button.
episode was supposed to
Yes.
be. Though.
I am so glad it's not a 6 degrees of whatever episode. You scared me.
It's 6 degrees of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That one I might be able to play.
Anyway.
Give me advance warning.
All right, well,
Okay, dead air, and Chris is checking his phone.
Hand me that bacon.
we'll go to break with a little bit of comedy.
Let's
then.
go to
Even
because
more
we're not
so?
funny enough.
Where's Paradise by the Dashboard Light?
A little 6 degrees of Paris Hilton from Kathy Griffin.
There's some people, I mean, I love all my pop culture. I love all my tabloids, but I am sick to death of Paris Hilton. Sick of her. Sick of her. But in particular, I'm really sick of Paris Hilton's ass crack. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of her pants falling down. I'm actually sick of all ass crack. I'm sick of Beyonce's ass crack. I'm sick of Tara Reid's ass crack. I'm sick of ass crack. I'm sick of my own ass crack. And ass cracks are so overexposed. And you know what I love? I love when girls have like the tattoo right there. And so when they bend over, does it not look like they just have a really hairy ass? Right? Because you know when they got it, they're like, I can't help it, I'm sensual. You look like a hairy janitor.
Oh man.
That was wrong.
That's Kathy
That was
Griffin for you.
brutal.
She was so funny.
We saw her live once. It was awesome.
There's somebody who murdered her career.
Yeah, I bet she comes back.
I'm sure she'll eventually bounce
I
back.
like Kathy too. I saw her at RIT
Okay.
not too,
What
a couple
happened?
years ago.
She did this whole thing where it was basically a Trump protest and it backfired in her face
She did a
spectacularly.
beheading Donald Trump thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was holding a mannequin head that had a big.
But you know what I
ugly
find
toupee.
interesting is that ruined her career or derailed her career for a certain length of time. But Roseanne can post pictures of herself dressed as Hitler.
Yeah, baking.
And she's on national TV.
Getting great ratings and congratulatory messages from the president. Yeah.
yes.
Well, Kathy Griffin got those from me.
Yeah.
Because once you said that, I went, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So we're going to do some Nerd World news today.
What are we doing?
We're not doing one big topic. We're doing a series of them. Lots of little topics
Lots
today.
of
We're going to
little
see where this
topics.
goes.
Surprise!
We might not catch a bunch of. We might miss a few of these, but
Yeah.
we're just going to have some fun for a little bit here. This is the 11th of April. It looks like. So Infinity War is a couple of weeks away.
I can't wait. I have my tickets already.
You do? I actually should.
I've had them.
You had them for a couple of weeks now, haven't you?
Yeah, since the beginning of March.
Billy, what are you hoping for with Infinity War?
Just a good movie, a great movie. That's all I need.
I hope they don't kill Hawkeye off.
I hope I can understand it, that I'll remember everything that's happened in the last dozen years
Yeah, I heard he's not
of the Marvel. That's the one thing I worry about. Is
Right.
I don't know all the references. Is that what was it? I don't know.
They all blur together after a while?
Yeah.
You have some movie watching.
I know I'm going to rewatch Civil War, Spider-Man: Homecoming, just because I want to re-see that.
That was a good movie.
Because it was awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely Civil War. I don't know if I'll get the Black Panther again, but I'm going to try and watch it
again.
And again.
And again and again.
Yeah,
and
I
again.
just saw Civil War a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So I'm going to rewatch a couple of them and hope that it all ties in. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was going to
have
say
at
you should
home.
probably.
Guardians of the Galaxy's in my desk at work.
They're going to fit
so.
in. Yeah, because that's going to
Doctor Strange, I probably should rewatch.
be Thor Ragnarok.
I didn't love Thor Ragnarok as
Really?
much as other people did.
Huh.
I don't
That
know
was just
why.
a fun movie.
We watched it with Sherry's mom, and she started out, I don't like this.
I don't like
I
this.
really don't like
Yeah,
this.
I don't
I don't
like
like this. And by the end, she was like, okay, that was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I heard you two talking about Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, because allegedly he's not on
Any of the
posters.
posters.
However, in the mashup that's on my computer screen's wallpaper, he is up in the corner with one of the groups.
That's a Photoshop.
That's a fan. But that I know they've done a lot of fan ones because
Fake nerd news.
Yeah.
because they're because people are so upset that he's not in any of them.
So I don't know.
He's in the movie, yeah?
We don't know.
I guess I'm going to IMDb.
They kill him quickly? I think
No,
that's what's happening.
I think what it was he
They
was on
better not.
vacation, so he, couldn't,
so he missed the
couldn't,
protocol.
Okay, here's
couldn't participate in the Infinity Wars. He was, he was out with the kids doing a roller coaster,
you go.
that sort of
I
thing.
have a question. We know people are going to die. We know.
Yeah.
It's a fact of life. Somebody big, probably more than one, is going to die.
Yep.
Is there anyone that would just be like, okay, that's a deal breaker for me?
Because we've been discussing this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll tell you what. I'm going to hate anybody they kill.
They have him in the cast.
No, exactly what she means is if this person dies,
That's it. I'm done.
I'm done with the Marvel universe.
I can't do that because I'm not that kind of a fan. You know, I'm not that kind of guy like, well, they screwed that up entirely, so I'm done with any of the future movies. Because, no, when the next movie comes out, I'm going to want to freaking see it. I'm going to see what's going on. So there's no, for me personally, there's no deal-breaker deaths. There's going to be ones that I'm going to feel.
Okay, then who's going to be the hardest?
The hardest?
Would be the hardest? Because there's certain ones that you just think, okay, we know this actor doesn't want to keep doing these, things like that. But
It's going to be Iron Man and Cap. The two, because they've been the grandfather. They've been basically the leads for the entire time, and I've been a big Iron Man fan basically since Iron Man 1 came out. Is when I got introduced. So that's almost 10 years ago now. So I'm collecting the comic books. I'm into the Tony Stark story at this point. So losing, and I know that Robert Downey Jr. can't do it forever.
No,
you know, and I know that he's been.
What do you mean?
He may have hit the fountain of youth, but time catches all. You know, eventually, and I know that there's going to come a time where he's going to tap out and say that I'm done with these movies. As much as they're a part of me, and I love them, and whatever.
Plus, we learned in comic books, no death is forever.
Yeah, true.
Tony Stark will be back if they kill him. It won't be Robert Downey Jr. It might be in like a
I thought he was saying
flashback
Robert Downey Jr. was coming back.
No, but Iron Man will exist somehow.
okay.
Okay, so a little.
But Cap, I'm predicting that they're going to take down Cap.
Uncle
in this
Ben
one.
is the only death that's lasted forever.
No, seriously.
Monk has asked me to just bring up hers. She wouldn't. I mean, as much as she loves Iron Man and she especially loves Cap, she would be okay as long as they went with because there's War Machine and Falcon in the wings,
right?
Who can take over those positions,
right? And Falcon has been Captain America in the past, and so is Bucky Barnes. The Winter Soldier has taken over as Captain America at one point.
Exactly. Hers is she cannot. Basically, Hawkeye and Black Widow cannot die until she finds out about Budapest.
Okay,
that's her role.
Now it says there's. I'm looking at the little trivia bits and pieces of this. Tom Holland was not allowed to read the script to the film due to him revealing too many secrets for Spider-Man Homecoming.
Right.
So he was not allowed to read this script.
There's even a video of him on Instagram or something like that where he's talking to his fans saying, yeah, they only give me enough so I can do my scenes.
Yeah.
Because I apparently I kind of blew it. And so he's being very conciliatory about it. He's acknowledging the fact that he blew it. But he's like, I'm just terrible at keeping secrets. I admit it. It's just one of those things.
According to Marvel Studios, there are around 64 main characters in this film.
Holy Moses.
64.
This is going to be a huge movie.
Then
They had to make the screen bigger so they could have all those names on it.
Yeah, there you go.
It says, according to Kevin Feige, the Avengers are expected to have a shakeup in their team lineup between Infinity War 2018 and the untitled Avengers sequel in 2019. In other words, the roster will be different from the prior two Avengers films.
Well, right now, as of the current MCU, there's two Avengers teams. There's the Shadow Avengers, the Secret Avengers, which Cap took them off after Civil War. And you don't know what they're up to.
Oh, that's the ones that were.
Yeah, and then you've got the main Avengers now, it's Tony Stark and the crew that's still with him. Would be Rhodey, and I would assume not Falcon, but Rhodey and Vision.
Vision, yeah.
Would Scarlet Witch still be part of the main team?
I thought wasn't she one of the ones?
I think
that
she went with Cap.
She went with Cap
because wasn't she one of the ones that
Yes.
was imprisoned?
They were fighting
it was,
over.
Cap
But
and
where
Ant-Man.
is Black Widow?
She disappears, and then she comes back as a blonde.
Yes.
Because that's the ultimate. When you're as hot as Scarlett Johansson,
You can
changing
change
your
her-
hair color is an instant, like, oh, I can't recognize her anymore. What?
It's the sunglasses and the hoodie.
Yeah, the Marvel Cinematic Universe instant disguise kit is a hoodie, sunglasses, and a baseball hat. So they should just then she could have still been a redhead.
I saw a meme recently about the difference between Marvel and DC, and it had a picture of like Iron Man, and it's like face completely covered. Everyone knows who he is, and then it has Wonder Woman, and it has Superman, and like no mask, nobody recognizes.
Yeah, I know. It's the glasses. It's the glasses. Glasses always do it.
It said security for filming at Durham Cathedral was so tight that not even the cathedral wardens were allowed access inside.
Wow.
So, and then something else in regards to that. The filming at Durham Cathedral involved moving most, if not all, of the pews to make room for the film sets. After filming on the Saturday night, May 6th, the sets had to be moved and the pews replaced in readiness for Sunday services. Then on Monday, everything was changed around again for the completion of the film.
Amazing. What's amazing?
That keeps people busy.
Yeah, seriously. That's job security.
This will be the first time that the Guardians of the Galaxy meet the Avengers.
Yep. Which is always fun in the comic books when the two hook up with each other. Tony Stark was actually a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy for a little while.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Did not know that.
Oh yeah. It's as entertaining as you would hope for.
I vaguely remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you think because of the rotating Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the original 5 or however many will be gone? I mean, you don't need to get rid of Groot or Rocket because they're voices or whatever, but like Star-Lord.
I think Star-Lord. I think Star-Lord hangs in there. You know what? Honestly, with the way that crew is taking off, I see all 5 of the Guardians will survive.
Yeah, Dave Bautista, he's going to go back to wrestling?
Yeah.
No, he's going to stay with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he's knows where his bread is buttered at now. He's enjoying his career as an actor.
I read something about him when he got accepted for Guardians of the Galaxy, he went home and cried because he was so excited and so happy.
And then immediately started taking acting lessons and really wanting to nail the part down and get that presence down.
That's just friggin' awesome.
It is. It's great. I mean, I love to see that in kind of enthusiasm, and it shows because as the character has a lot of interest to him. The Drax character is not just here, let me punch this thing. There's there's depth to it. There's timing in the comedic lines. Yeah, he's very different. He's very different.
Okay, can I ask a question? Am I the only one who did not realize that Baby Groot was not Groot?
No, I didn't know that until
I thought he was too. Yeah,
No, it's
Okay,
his
so now I
son.
don't feel as stupid.
It's like a son and a sap. It's a sapling. It's
Yeah.
In the comic book, whenever Groot is quote unquote killed, it's usually he grows back, and they never really refer to him as the next Groot or a son of Groot. It's always just Groot comes back and he's off and running again.
But that's what all of their species are also known as.
Yes.
They're all known as Groot.
Yeah, and there's a long history of Groot without any of the backstory being known.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is just stuff that's popped up in the past few years.
Yeah. But I had no idea. But I follow James Gunn on Twitter. And
When he announced that kind of threw me.
I went,
that threw me off a little bit.
That's not.
I'm cool with it.
I'm
then
fine
it's
with
like-
it.
but
And it
it's
makes
just like, oh,
sense.
okay.
It makes
Yeah, it does.
sense
It
because
does.
it's a very different character.
Right.
Yeah.
He's very different than.
It's like he's got to learn because he's learning something. No, it's like I am Groot. I am Groot.
That was so
I am Groot. No.
That was such a little
love
kid
that.
kind of a thing to do.
Oh yeah, in regards to teaching him how to
and
arm the bomb.
and Teen Groot.
Ugh. That is so our kids.
It really is. It's teenagers across the universe.
Yes.
They're all the same.
No, I am so looking forward to this.
This is going to be
movie.
one of those big blockbuster movies that's like,
And I think I will cry if any of the Avengers die.
oh, they're going to get ready to bring the Kleenex then,
I will.
sweets, because that's what's going to happen. Billy, who do you think is going to get capped first?
Oh, I think it's got to be Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or either Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans. Don't they both want to split?
Well, I don't think they want to so much as they feel that their time it's
Yeah.
the
Their
right
time is
timing,
done.
that their time is done. It's time to hand it off to the next. We see?
Go out on the top.
Are we going to see Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel
Yes.
showing up in
I
Infinity
believe
War?
Yeah, I
War.
think I saw a
Okay,
picture.
I'm excited for that because
Okay, that's news
How
to
about
me.
if Chris Evans' character, Captain America, gets killed but shows up as the Human Torch?
Okay, I would take that. That would be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is how. Maybe that's
Yes.
another podcast, but how do they start to interweave the Fantastic Four into the MCU? It's
Recast,
got to happen
complete
eventually.
recast.
Well, it's got to be a complete
Yeah.
recast. Because I don't see the Fox crew coming over. I don't see that happening. None of them were particularly
They're
convincing.
going to have to start casting clouds.
Oh God. That would be, that's the question I did not even think to ask is how would they handle the Fantastic Four's main stories?
It's got to be Galactus. The first one, Galactus and Silver Surfer.
And then how do they portray Galactus?
Is not a cloud. Is the guy that I've got on my shirt.
The big fella.
The big purple guy.
Uh-huh.
With Silver Surfer flying around.
There you go. I think that's the thing that has
So
to
far,
happen.
this will be the longest Marvel movie.
How long is it going to be?
156 minutes.
So that's wow. Okay, so that's like almost 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah. The following Captain America: Civil War, which was 147.
Okay.
And if anyone gets killed and wants to come back, Skrull.
Yeah. Yeah. They can start bringing in because if Captain Marvel's going to be there, then that's the Kree and the Skrull are getting ready to be put in. And the Skrull are shapeshifters because I see the look of confusion off to my right. And so
I didn't know either.
Yeah, so it's entirely possible that somebody who gets killed might have actually just been, a doppelganger. Who knows?
Now you're giving away spoilers.
No, I'm not. I'm
I
offering fan theory is what I'm doing.
I was looking
Everybody
at the
does
next
that.
thing, and I'm like, I'm not going to read any of this stuff.
I
because
wasn't even
it's
thinking
spoilers.
about that. Doggone it.
What I'm doing is fan theory. Like when
I
Becca
know,
was
I
in
know.
here talking about Voltron.
Although we could start rumors.
Yeah, so I was in the third scene in Infinity Wars. If you look down to your left of your screen,
That was your hand?
there was my hand. Yeah, that's,
That's my hand.
that's what I was saying.
If you look real closely at the 1 hour 42, 38 second mark, you see Yoda.
And he waves.
I'm just.
It's another movie with E.T. in it.
There it is.
Are C-3PO and R2-D2 going to be placed somewhere? Like they're
It's got to be
placed
somewhere. I would
everywhere
assume
else?
so, yeah. It's got
In
to be a
every
thing.
other movie?
There's going to be a 12% reference.
There has to be.
There's going to be a 12% reference somewhere.
Who's going to make it?
Star-Lord.
I'm going to say Peter Parker is going to make a 12% reference.
Because it was Pepper, and then it was Groot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, who's going to make the 12% reference?
Now, here's something interesting, and I'm wondering if Marvel is doing this to try and get fan theories all riled up. But there has been no mention of a Doctor Strange 2. And so a lot of people are already going on to the idea of, well, maybe Doctor Strange gets killed in the Infinity Wars, so that's why they're not going to make a second Doctor Strange movie.
Or maybe
because,
it just didn't do very well.
no,
have
actually,
you seen the
it
trailer?
did well.
Have you seen the trailer?
For
the most recent trailer.
Oh, for Infinity War?
For Infinity Wars.
No, I haven't seen the most recent one.
Are
they implying?
What you say about Doctor Strange, that is part of why people are saying that.
See, now what that tells me is that MCU right now, Marvel Studios is doing a big old looky-loo right now. They're making you, they're drawing you down the primrose path at this point. So everybody's going to go, well, Doctor Strange is going to get killed. Doctor Strange is going to get killed, and then you're never going to see it coming. You're never going to see the actual person who's getting a drop.
Exactly. That's what I was expecting.
And in the closing credits, Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be doing a little soft shoe going, hey, fuckers, I'm still here.
You will have to push the button.
Now.
Not yet. Not yet.
How many F-bombs does he have to drop?
He has to drop more than 2.
More than 2. See, so I'm done. I'm good. I'm ready. So we're all set.
Okay, where's the duct tape?
It won't last. It won't last.
So, but this is exciting. We're gonna know, and we'll know in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
We're gonna know in a couple of weeks if we were right.
I know.
And then,
you weren't invited to the.
I have my
pre-show?
own. I have my own thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can go
with Hugh Hefner's Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to see it like tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You got the pre-screening?
Yeah, we get the pre-screening.
You get the pre-screening.
I just want
the pre-screening.
Sheree to go, what are those? Sorry.
She suddenly Thanos is in the room with Black Panther's sister, and she looks at the Infinity Gauntlet, points it, goes, "What
So
are those?"
So Monk added to her Funko Pop collection.
Yeah.
She got a Shuri.
Nice.
And she got a Nakia.
Okay.
Yep.
Good characters.
So she's very excited.
Very good characters.
She's going to have her own house just for those.
Just for her Funkos. Yes.
So, so this is going to be huge. And now we're really going to see kind of the fruition of everything that they've worked on for the past 10 years, because everything that started was leading towards Infinity War. I mean, Iron Man and Iron Man 1 and Incredible Hulk didn't so much kind of, but once they realized they were getting their steam under them, they were starting to talk about it. You kind of get that impression that they were heading towards something. It wasn't just Loki coming back and bringing the Chitauri with him to give a chance to put the Avengers together. There was something else. There was a bigger arc. And Infinity War is kind of the culmination, the ultimate, the climax of everything they've worked on for the past, 10 years at this point. So where the hell do they go next?
What I'm disappointed in is that there's not a Rochester area theater doing the marathon.
Really?
Across the country, there are theaters doing a 31-hour marathon.
Oh, my God.
Yes,
I know.
Of 12 different, and I don't think anyone in Rochester is doing it.
I don't want to do anything that feels good for 31 hours.
When the first
Who was the comedian who said that? Not Judy Tenuta. It was Rita.
Rudner?
Rita Rudner
yeah.
did that. My friend was in labor for 26 hours. I don't even want to do something that feels good for 26 hours.
Yes, that's where I got that.
Because when the first Avengers movie came out, they had, I think it was 6 movies, and I went to that, and that was tiring.
Yeah. I can imagine a 31-hour marathon.
No.
I don't want to be trapped in a movie theater for 31 hours.
I was going to say, I would just rather spend the next 20-some-odd days watching one a day, or even now 2 a day in order to get them done.
I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I still haven't seen the first Ant-Man.
Really?
That's a lot of fun.
I haven't.
You have it?
I think we do have it at home, but I have not seen it.
All right. Well, let me know. We'll park at my house and we'll watch it.
I want for the beginning of Infinity Wars to start with just a recap of all the other movies done by the guy from Ant-Man.
I think
in that style.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think they have to do as previously seen on.
Yeah.
But I want it by that guy.
You know what? That was the best thing I liked in Spider-Man Homecoming. Is the video,
I'm looking at the video.
It made me sick.
Motion sickness.
The motion sickness. But that was the best kind of recap from Civil War into this one going, hey, look, type thing.
Yeah, and it helped to kind of bring you up to whatever Homecoming was going to be.
Yeah.
And that's that. And that. But where do you go next? What's
you
the
know
next
what?
big guy?
And that kind of shows how we would be probably as Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
So,
absolutely. And Jules, my daughter, is Tom Holland is her dream man at this point. And so she's always trying to find memes and posters and pictures of Tom Holland. She follows him on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. Oh, it's hilarious. She is crushing hard on Tom Holland. Tom, are you listening? My daughter is in love with you, and I give you my blessing.
How old is he?
Nah, I'm not worried about that right now. Because I know that's going to be completely unlikely. But there was a great meme that popped up, and it had a picture of Tobey Maguire, and it said, best Peter Parker, or best at Peter Parker, and then Andrew Garfield, best at Spider-Man, and then Tom Holland, best at both. And I agree with it. Yeah. Because I really felt like, with Andrew Garfield, he did a great job. I want to throw shade on either of the two guys before Tom, all right? But with Andrew Garfield, when he was out of the costume,
he was just like moody James Franco or something.
Yeah. But then when he was in the Spider-Man outfit, he comes to life a little bit more. It was a lot more fun to watch. Tobey Maguire was definitely that innocent, naive, the hapless Peter Parker that we grew to love in the comic books.
Until he got emo and danced.
Yeah, the third one was a wreck. The third movie was just a wreck.
Tom Holland
has a great blend.
It was that fanboyness that I just
his excitement
loved.
That's what I was talking about with us.
Yep, that genuine enthusiasm in that.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I got his shield. That was so cool.
Yeah. And you've got a metal arm? That's awesome.
That's awesome.
He's about to get his ass kicked by the Winter Soldier. You've got a metal arm. That's amazing.
Because we'd be like
yes. That. And so my hat's off.
I would absolutely be like that. No question.
Absolutely. And
can you show me how that works? And what's the physics behind it? Stuff like that. Because I want to know every freaking thing about it.
Now the crossover I want to see hails back to a couple of comic books that have popped up over the years, where it would be Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Henry Cavill's Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Superman versus Spider-Man. Love it.
Yeah, I had the big, massive
I got it. Again, a couple years ago for my birthday, Susan got me a copy of it. Cost, it was pricey, but
I'm sure, yeah.
I had it originally when it was $1, so so the fact that it costs way more than that now makes me sad that I don't have my original.
Yeah, I know. I used to have it was this massive
that and the
thing.
Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Right. And he loses. If I remember correctly.
It's Under the Red Sun.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Even Stevens.
Yep.
Good stuff. But yeah, that question's hanging out there. I wouldn't know. After you take on Thanos, who would be the next big bad to build up towards?
Galactus.
It's got to be Galactus, and that's how you introduce the Fantastic Four?
Yep.
Because it's a cloud.
It's not a cloud.
I would be interested to see how they would design a proper Galactus with the aesthetic that they use in the MCU. That'd be, I think, because obviously it's not going to be this dopey-looking purple thing. There would be some armor to it, and but the size and the kind of the the more epic quality of it.
Yeah. Thanos-esque, but...
I'm going to have to draw that later.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I got a good idea.
You got an idea on that one?
Yeah.
So...
That's the thing. Things that work
down.
in comics don't always work in live action.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of opportunity to explain that one.
And that's the wonderful thing about those. That's the wonderful thing about those costumes is the way they're translated. I love Captain America's outfit.
Oh, yeah, how it evolved. It was...
No. His first one.
His first one, really? I thought it looked dopey.
Yes, it looked dopey.
But it was supposed to.
But it was realistic.
Yeah.
It was leather, and it had the cargo pockets.
You're talking about when he was actually in World War II.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about in Avengers, when he showed up in the first kind of like uniform there in Avengers.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Well, I didn't think it was that great.
Really? I had no problem.
And I liked how it's evolved. But yeah, when he was in World War II and he was in Captain America First
absolutely.
Avenger. It looked good. That looked cool.
Some of the ways that things have transferred I thought have just looked wonderful. I could see where that's real. You look back at some of the Fantastic Four ones, not so much.
Not so much, no.
Yeah.
Some
when you come back to Batman. So,
Bat nipples?
Oh no, I'm going all the way back.
Okay.
I don't know. This looks pretty good to me.
What are you looking at?
Never knew mine.
She's looking at Black Widow.
Is she on a porn site?
Christopher. No, I'm looking at Captain America. Come on.
She's looking at the triple X-Men.
Oh my God, you guys.
That's a different comment.
Whole new meaning of Colossus.
Speaking of X-Men things, to move on to something slightly different, the New Mutant and the Dark Phoenix movies, once again.
On hold.
On hold again.
Yep. What are we hearing about that?
Back. I heard that the New Mutants one is getting, like, half of it's getting refilmed.
Wow.
That they're going much darker.
Wow. Okay. Now, why would they need to do that, do you think?
I don't know, but I hear that's what they're doing.
Now, New Mutants, is that still Sony? New Mutants, Sony and Fox, or whatever, Fox and Sony? But not MCU?
It is 20th Century Fox, TSG Entertainment, Marvel Entertainment, Genre Films.
Okay.
It's pushed back to February 22nd, 2019.
Okay.
And that was supposed to come out
later in 18?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out.
Yeah, the two cast members that I see right now is Maisie Williams and Henry Zaga.
Though I did also hear that because Black Panther did so well with a February release, that might have something to do with it.
Also pushing it to February in the hopes of picking up some steam instead of...
Actually, it was delayed from February to August.
Of 2019?
Yeah, it was initial. Dark Phoenix was November 2018, but that's been pushed to February 14th in 2019. And the New Mutants is delayed from February 2019 to August 2019.
So the Stark sisters are getting pushed around a little bit here.
They are.
I don't know how I feel about that yet. But what do you think?
Who's Maisie playing? I don't even know.
Wolfsbane.
Yeah.
Rain.
Because
she was my favorite. Nice. She was my favorite. Her and Cypher were my favorite.
Who else would you cast Maisie Williams as?
True.
I mean,
if I had
seriously.
really thought about it, who else? Yeah, if I had thought about it. But yeah, Cypher and Wolfsbane were my favorite New Mutants.
Okay. You were saying, Bill?
Back to where do they go from here?
Yeah.
At some point, do you incorporate the characters from the Netflix Marvel shows? Because they are part of the Marvel universe. They reference the happenings of the Avengers and the Battle for New York and all that.
The incident.
So do Daredevil and Luke Cage and the rest wind up in
Agents
movies?
Of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I know the fans would love it if they did. I would. I think that's a logical progression. I'm not getting the vibe from Marvel Studios that they would ever do it, because it almost feels like, how do I say this? It almost feels like it would be breaking a seam that they don't want to. Like right now, Netflix is successful, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing all right, and then the Marvel Cinematic Universe is. They're all kind of loosely hooked together, unlike the DC EU, which is not hooked at all. So, but they're all got their little niche. They've all got their little kind of pocket universe that they're working with. Like Netflix is good, and ABC is good over here, and then the movies are good. So we'll all just kind of refer back and forth to each other. But do we really want to cross those boundaries? And mix them together?
Even in a post-credit scene, I'd like to see, Daredevil show up.
I think that would be good to see Charlie Cox in full outfit, with Kristen Ritter right behind him.
Yeah,
and they can just be sitting there on the edge, on the parapet of a 10-story building, and watching Iron Man fly by. Oh, it's him again. That kind of a thing. I would like little nods like that. I don't honestly think we're ever going to see that though. That's just my gut reaction.
Just the fact that Marvel does control both. I think it's a possibility, but I think you're right.
So is Coulson in Infinity Wars?
Coulson is not, but Coulson is going to be in Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Because Captain Marvel, her movie, her solo, is going to be set in the 1990s.
I did know that.
So,
but I was just throwing that out there.
Will Coulson show up in Infinity War? That would be interesting if he did.
Because they all think he's dead.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how your daughter has a crush on Tom Holland?
I'm fully well aware of it, yes.
Monk has a crush on Phil Coulson.
On Clark Gregg?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
She's not right.
And
you know what? That's fine.
And another Marvel character.
Yes.
Who
she
else?
also has a very large crush on Martin Freeman.
Okay.
Oh.
Because,
she likes older guys.
They're very similar, snarky.
Yep. I mean, those two, Misha Collins. I'm like, I asked her, I'm like, is there anybody you have a crush on that's not old enough to be your father.
Has she
Or
ever
older
seen,
than your father.
Or older than your father.
Has she ever seen The British Office so she can see younger Martin Freeman?
No, she hasn't. She hasn't.
Ricky
Great
Gervais.
show.
Actually, the only one she could name was Osric Chow. She has a crush on Osric Chow.
And he played Kevin in Supernatural,
yes.
right? Is that who we're
Yes,
talking about?
and he is just a riot.
He's amazing.
He's awesome.
Well, we were talking about him with Hillywood.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, because he had shown up in a couple of their videos.
Yes.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
What else we got? What else we want to talk about?
Actually, talking about superhero stuff, I'm disappointed in myself. For months on Facebook, kept saying Krypton is coming. No, Sci-Fi Network has the Krypton show,
Right.
where stuff on Krypton before Kal-El got shot into space and sent to Earth. And, that's like a month away. Okay, it's like 2 weeks away. I'll remember the DVR. Okay, that's like a week away. And then it came and went, and I forgot. And so now my OCD head, I got to wait for it to come on Netflix.
Oh, no. I have caught a little bit of it.
Have you looked on demand?
I think it's on demand.
It probably is.
I do want.
I think it's only got a couple of episodes
I
out
love
now.
Superman, so I want to see it. I don't know if a sci-fi original show
I
is
got
going to work or not.
I got to tell you, my first impression of it, it's not positive.
Okay.
There's some good actors. There's some good characters. There's a lot of very stereotypical, I'm the villain. Let me shake my fist at you. I'm going to destroy everything. And then they brought in the American. Oh God, he's from Earth. He's a time traveler, and he comes back and he gets right in El's face, right in Seg El's face, and says, "You have to do this because without you, we're not going to have your grandson." And your grandson saves the universe and stuff like that. And so he basically does this whole destiny dump on this guy's shoulder. And I'm like, okay, so this didn't so much become a prequel show about Krypton in its final years. It became a let's go save Superman episode. And or it's what it felt like to me.
They're trying to shoehorn.
They're trying, it just feels a little ham-fisted. Now, I will admit that I have not watched full episodes. I have watched bits and pieces, and I've had it on in the background, and I've picked up from trailers and stuff like that. So I may not be seeing the story completely, but what I've picked up is like, really? Why are you doing that?
See, there was a novel a couple years ago called The Last Days of Krypton that I really liked a lot by Kevin J. Anderson. So I was hoping it would be something like that shows the planet and their political situation and
the
all
caste
that.
system and whatnot.
So,
Well, maybe it's
I'll
to
look at it.
Maybe it's to bring in new people.
Maybe.
You got to figure. We grew up with the Superman movies.
Right.
A lot of kids nowadays don't really know, except from the newest Justice League movies.
True. Okay.
I felt really old the other day when I
kind
saw
of pointing that out.
It's the 40th anniversary of the Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
No, I just saw it a couple years ago.
Oh, I know.
I was in high school a couple years ago, right?
40th anniversary?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It can't be yet because that would have made me 3 years old when I saw it the first time. And
It came
no,
out in
I was older than that.
78, yeah.
No,
Really?
78.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was sick.
It came out
Yep.
Yeah.
with Star Wars. Oh,
Yep.
my God.
With Star Wars and Star Trek, the most motionless picture, and there was a whole block of it was cool to be a geek moment there.
Yeah.
Because I watched those so many years in a row.
I was
That must be it.
Yeah.
I was in
It was
junior
just so much
high.
of my childhood.
Had my Superman T-shirt. My roller skating broke my arm. I still remember wearing my Superman T-shirt and breaking my arm.
We had Superman bed sheets, you know.
I remember seeing the second Superman
Super
movie.
Friends.
Which was an awesome movie.
Yeah, because we had within a couple blocks away from us, we had a $1 ticket theater, and we used to go see everything there. And I remember it was my brother and I and one of our neighbors, Dino Catato, who we went to see it. And when we were walking back, it was garbage night. And for some reason, along Genesee Street, Major Road in Utica, they didn't break down the boxes. They would just stack up the empty boxes. I don't know why. We probably pissed off a lot of people that night because we were throwing each other. We were like so excited about that movie that we were just throwing each other.
Like the fight thrown into the building.
Exactly. That was exactly what we were doing.
The anecdote that I get a kick out of, Terrence Stamp shows up on the set of The Phantom Menace. So his first day of shooting is as Chancellor Valorum. Okay. walks up to George Lucas. And if this is urban legend because I've never seen any other reference to it ever before, but if the story's to be believed, he walks up to George Lucas, stares him right in the eye, and goes, "Kneel before Zod!" and then goes to get his costume on. Leaving everybody on the set dying.
Can I just say I want that to be true?
Oh, I'm hoping that's true. I'm hoping, because that would be amazing. That would be amazing. That ranks right up there with Tom Hanks showing up at the first day of filming for Forrest Gump, sees Gary Sinise and goes, "Lieutenant Dan!" Right? So you got that. They're getting all in. But then they're filming Apollo 13 5-6 years later. The first thing he does, walks up to Gary Sinise, "Lieutenant Dan!"
I would bet he
did that.
I would bet.
I love in movies when they do stuff like that. Like the movie. Do you remember the movie Hot Shots Part 2?
Vaguely, because I was fairly intoxicated when I watched it.
Well,
Leslie Nielsen?
No, that was Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. There is
Sheen.
this one scene, and I thought the movie was awful, except for this one scene.
It's meant to be.
This one scene, though, killed me. It was him. He was on a boat going up the river, and he's writing in a journal, and it's lines from Platoon.
Yeah.
And coming the other way is Martin Sheen. Sitting on another boat coming down the river, and he's writing in a journal, and it's lines from Apocalypse Now. And as the two boats are passing, they both stand up, point at each other, and say, "I loved you in Wall Street." That
was very funny.
It floored me. Killed me. I'm like, okay, this movie doesn't suck completely.
Yeah, there's some redeeming qualities and everything.
That scene alone made the movie.
There you go. That's a thing.
I haven't seen that one in years.
Yeah.
But back to Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Look at all the photo bombs and stuff he has all over the internet.
Oh, he's
so
amazing.
I'm absolutely sure he did that to Gary Sinise.
Or whatever.
Oh, yeah. He's one of the most accommodating celebrities out there. He loves it. He loves to make people laugh.
Didn't he do a photobomb with someone sleeping?
Yes.
They
were
drunk, passed out,
drunk, and so he's taking
like,
pictures with them. Yeah, he's doing selfies and whatnot. Because Tom Hanks, why not?
Yeah.
He showed up in wedding pictures. He just happened to be going out for a walk. He walks past, they're doing wedding pictures, so he just jumps right in and starts pointing. He's like pointing at the groom, like, "Oh my God, look at this guy!" That kind of a thing. He actually found somebody to give him a toaster, so he's handing him a toaster in one of the pictures. It's it's crazy.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
I love celebrities who are like that.
They're normal people who
are who just want to have some fun. Just want to have some fun. Now, speaking of Hollywood, let's because there's a couple. I'm seeing this list of topics and stuff. And this has been a complaint that I've heard a lot of people talk about over the years. Has Hollywood run out of original geeky ideas?
Or not just geeky ideas,
but
ideas, period.
Yeah, remakes, reboots, and adaptations. Oh my, I think is how Sherry wrote it. Right? Have we seen too many of the same thing already?
I think as long as the movies are good, I don't care where they come from.
Okay.
Just make them good. If they stink, stop doing it.
Yeah.
The problem is most of the ones lately have just stunk.
Give me an example.
No, I'm just talking movies in general. I am very, very pleased with adaptations from books and from, obviously comics, et cetera.
Right.
But there has been hardly any original ideas because they're sitting there doing remakes over and over and over. 21 Jump Street.
We know this worked, so we'll do this again.
I guess because I don't go to any movies that...
That's why I don't go to any movies.
Just last week, and we watched on pay-per-view, and it was awesome, was I, Tonya. The Tonya Harding movie with Margot Robbie. It's fantastic.
Not the Tonya Metro story.
No. They spelled Tonya wrong.
I was going to say.
Yeah. But that's fantastic. And, obviously it came from a real life story, but God, that was good. And I didn't spend the 12. Actually, I'm going to see Ready Player One, and the ticket cost $18.
Oh, my God.
Are you seeing IMAX?
No. Recliner at Webster.
Wow.
3D. $18.
3D, that's why.
$16.49.
Did you guys get the tickets online or something?
Yes,
because it's a convenience fee.
Yeah.
And you guys need to come down and watch movies down. We have a theater that has the recliner seats that if you go to, if the movie starts before noon, like if they have ones that start like 11:30, $5.
Yeah, there are theaters that do similar. But
yeah, and The concession is cheaper, too.
I think there are good movies out there.
And then we could go over to Fort Stanwix for the escape room.
There you go.
Yeah, well,
Same town.
I was looking at that. The last one they had was in October of 2017. So,
Well, I have contacts there.
oh, good.
I know the person
He's
who's
from Rome.
I'm from Rome originally, so anyways, back to the other. I have no problem with stories from real life. That's wonderful. But
I saw Pacific Rim 2 last week.
Yeah, well, how was it?
It was okay.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I kind of expected
it was
it to be.
monsters punching robots, and that's what I was in the mood for.
You
That's
check your
always
brain
nice.
at the door.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but then
click
again,
the
I
button
could
for
have
you.
waited for that because I loved the first one. This one was all right. I got a couple hours sitting in a movie theater and I had fun. So I don't know if it was worth
I go
what
for
I
the
paid for,
snacks.
but
She does.
I haven't had
come
so
for the
much.
movie, stay for the snacks.
There you go.
I haven't had
think
so
it's
much
the
problem
opposite
with
for her.
reboots because I really love the Star Trek reboots. But it's just been finding new stories.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing theories about Star Trek at this moment in time because it sounds like one of the prevalent theories they're working on a Star Trek 4, a fourth reboot movie, and they're going to bring Chris Hemsworth back to play George Kirk, Jim Kirk's father, Captain Kirk's father. And so the theory is right now is that this is all setting up to jump out of the J.J. Abrams timeline and back into the Prime line. They want to try and it looks like they're going to try and reboot the reboot universe and put it. And it's going to be. It sounds like it's going to also be the last of the reboot movies. So it's going to be the last Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Enterprise 1701 movies, and they're going to try and put it back together again so that
They're back in the regular
they're
timeline.
back in the regular timeline. And I think they're basing it off of the success of Star Trek Discovery, which I have not seen yet because I don't have CBS's streaming service. Yeah. All right, but it sounds like to me from what I've been reading is that they're going to try and bring everything back together again.
Well, they can now. They couldn't before because two different companies. One company owned the rights to the look and all of that, and other one the rights to the name. So we had the TV and the movies had to be completely separated at that.
And that's
point,
why they did the
reboot
reboot universe in the first place.
They couldn't have it be the same storyline because TV, the company, and I always get them mixed up. But one company owned the TV shows.
Well, it was Paramount and CBS, and there was like there's some divisions there and
basically what happened was the company that owned all of it split.
Okay,
but they were still under one umbrella. But
they didn't play nice.
They didn't play nice.
No, they were doing it because they were trying to maximize their profits by separating it between two companies that were under, and then they actually separated really.
Oh boy!
And one owned one and one owned the other, but now they're back together, so they can go back.
Is it official
to the
that they're
original?
back together, or they're working on putting it back?
No, I believe they're back together, but they're not sure. And actually, one of the theories I heard is that the next movie isn't even going to be the J.J. Abrams cast. It's going to be the Discovery cast.
Really?
Yes.
So
that's
Star
a
Trek
theory.
4 will jump to Discovery, even though. But I'm having a hard time.
I'm trying to figure this. My brain just exploded.
I'm sorry.
So if they make another Star Trek movie after the newest one, will it have Kirk and Spock as characters played by
Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto?
Well, you say it's not going to be them, but I guess I'm not understanding that they're going to change the timeline back to the original timeline.
Well, it's basically it would be Captain Kirk, Spock, McCoy,
O'Hara,
and back on the Enterprise where they should be, with the original 5-year mission. You know, but it would have been the original timeline. So Kirk was not born during an attack from the Romulans. Yeah. They did not. The Admiral played by RoboCop did not find Khan out in Kirk would have found Khan. So they're going to restore the original series timeline in essence is what they're trying to do.
Crisis of Infinite Earth type of thing.
Crisis of Infinite Federations.
Peter Weller.
But that's why with the reboot they had to change the costumes. They changed the entire look of the Enterprise.
Right.
It's because they had to. It wasn't just J.J. Abrams just wanted to make something different. It was that he was constrained. It had to be because the other company owned the look.
Gotcha. All right. See, I did not know that before, so that makes sense to me.
Do you do a movie with a young Picard, Riker?
Oh, it'd be interesting. I mean, maybe we can get James McAvoy shave his head again. And
I actually heard that mentioned.
has it been mentioned? Has it been mentioned already? So that's not.
Yeah, so that's
that's not even an
another-
original thought. To me, it was, but Hollywood and Chris have both run out of ideas. That's crazy.
It's possible that Quentin Tarantino was working on.
Now I've heard that rumor that
Star
Quentin
Trek.
Tarantino is working on a Star Trek
This was
movie.
as of 3 days ago.
Wow.
But it says Star Trek 4 script was finished before Tarantino pitch.
So that would be Star Trek with Bruce Willis, John Travolta.
Quentin Tarantino is working on his own, possibly R-rated Star Trek movie with J.J. Abrams.
Oh my God!
Please be true. Please be true. Please be true.
I'm driving the shuttlecraft. You're on green brain detail.
And they're all vampires in the end.
That's it. They're all vampires.
Oh, that movie. That movie broke me.
Yeoman Sanchez, played by Selma Hayek, in the shortest cut miniskirt you'll ever see in your life.
Man, that movie broke me.
But Simon Pegg said that they've finished a draft.
Have they really?
They have finished a draft for the Star Trek.
It was a pint. Sorry.
Comes in pints?
No, you're not.
Sorry.
It comes in pints. I'm getting one. Oh, there we go. We just crossed a whole bunch of genres.
So, who knows?
This is going to be interesting.
Oh, man, I just had the beer from Ragnarok.
That's it.
Just refilling.
Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of
and
those.
speaking of adaptations, my favorite sci-fi author, one of his
Scalzi,
yeah, one of his books, his actually like his first fiction book of his that I read is
Which one?
actually it's called Old Man's War.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Has been optioned
Has it
by
really?
Netflix.
Okay, so it'll be done right.
If it's been optioned before. It's been
Okay.
optioned for as a series. Red Shirts also was optioned as a series, but nothing really. But oh my God. If you like Heinlein, if that's the type of sci-fi
Old
that
school
you
sci-fi.
like, yeah, Old Man's War is so much a throwback to that, and
Okay.
I love it.
That could be something that people would want to see.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Instead of blockbuster action movie in space, actually have a sci-fi theme to it, a sci-fi feel. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because it actually, I mean, and it is big. The story is that that humans are going off into space and they're colonizing.
Okay.
But it's a very hostile universe. It's not nice.
Well, yeah.
So they have to have a lot of troops. But what they do is they don't have young people because that's a waste of resources. So the main character, John, he goes off into space at the age of 75.
Wow.
And it's amazing.
Okay.
see, those are the types of things we need.
Yeah.
John Scalzi has some amazing ideas.
Something
What
different.
what I am seeing is certain authors need to be pushed because they have stuff that would just make amazing movies, amazing TV shows.
Give me another
that
example.
That are Scalzi's one of the big ones because
Because he does so many different things.
Gotcha.
Jim C. Hines,
Okay.
who we interviewed.
We've interviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the Liebermancer. You know, that's very different. You know, that's the problem. Is everything is like cookie cutter.
Sex and explosions.
Yeah,
That's all you need out of life right
and
now.
there's
Sex explosions and spaceships.
the lack of intelligence and the lack of empathy, and that's the problem with a lot of movies. I feel.
Girls, lasers, and other neat stuff. That's all you need.
Did you see?
I'm not saying you can't have that stuff. Don't get me
Old
wrong.
Man's War has all that stuff.
Did you see Snowpiercer?
No.
Oh, that's so good.
Was
You would love it.
Snowpiercer?
Snowpiercer. Chris Evans.
I was going to say,
A train circling the globe of ice. Earth's been frozen over. The train is like super long, and a caste system to where the rich people, the fancy people, are up front. The poor people are in the back, and Chris Evans leads a revolt of the people from the back all through the train all the way up to the front. And it's amazing.
all right.
That sounds really neat.
Yes.
I knew that the movie existed. I haven't seen it
It
yet.
was an independent. It played the little. It was on Netflix a year ago.
That-
I watched it, but
That right there is the word I was looking for. The independence.
yeah.
They need to be out there. They need to be pushed because there's the guard has to change.
I completely understand that.
Let's see,
I completely understand that.
Chris Evans and who's the actress? I'm trying to think. She plays. Let me look this up. I'm sorry.
What's she in?
I'm trying to. What's her name? John Hurt's in it, Octavia Spencer, Tilda Swinton. That's
Tilda
what I'm thinking.
Swinton.
Tilda Swinton
I
is
just saw her
really
in
good
Chronicles
in
of
it.
Narnia.
The queen of the
I
independent
love
movie.
those movies.
Ed Harris is in it.
Narnia's those are great movies. I wish they'd continued on with those.
Yeah.
If there's a series that needed to be rebooted, it would be
Or continued.
would be
Because
better.
I wouldn't want they were
The Pevensey kids were
they were so
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
They were so perfect.
Yeah. Lucy became iconic for that little girl. She stole the movies.
And they haven't really done anything since then. We were looking the other day.
Susan is in the CW show Rain.
Right. She's the only one that's really done something other than Peter. He's done something, but Edmund and Lucy haven't done anything.
Okay.
If I have this weird thing, I love to listen to the behind the scenes and I love to watch movies with the commentary.
I do too.
Love that. If you ever want to see the one for Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the commentary is amazing because it's the kids with the director.
Okay.
And the kids have the best stories that they're telling during the things like there are a couple of scenes where when they had to go back and reshoot things, they couldn't use Edmund, the actor who played Edmund, because his voice had changed and he had a growth spurt during.
Oh, no.
So they had to bring his sister in to
Really?
be a body double and to do some of his lines
That's amazing.
because his voice was too low.
That's funny.
And the little girl who played Lucy, she put a swear jar on the set and would yell at people to put money in the swear jar,
Now,
especially the director.
That is adorable.
We finished that at work because we'd watch it at lunchtime. We finished it, I think, on Wednesday. We had maybe about 5 or 6 minutes left of the movie. And then I put in the blooper reel of it. And my kids are like, the students are like, what are those circular things floating around? I'm like, that's so it gave the actor something to look at for Aslan's head before they put the CGI in. They're like, oh. So they now started to figure out all the background pieces to it, and then they're like, who is that? And I'm just like, and it was Mr. Tumnus. I'm like, that's Professor Xavier in James McAvoy. That's where I know him from. So it's like all of a sudden they're like, and then they're like, where do I know her from? I'm like, she's the old one in Doctor Strange. Okay, so like now they're like all making connections to the movies that they watch now that are like,
she was so amazing as the White Witch.
yeah, she was.
Oh my God.
Well, Tilda Swinton, for all of her idiosyncrasies and oddities, is an amazing actress. She's able to throw herself into these parts, and because of her a fairly androgynous aspect of her, she can. Pardon me for saying it this way so bluntly, but swing both ways, and she can adapt to multiple different types of characters. And it's very interesting to see how she blends into these different
I
parts.
was going to say, she was so intimidating as the White Witch.
Scary.
A scary type thing.
Yeah.
And then you watch.
I thought she was much scarier in her little bit in Prince Caspian.
Oh, I did. I would have to go back and look at that. But watching her then do some of the outtakes type thing, she's trying to go through the gate and she couldn't get through with her dress or whatever. She's like, ah! And it was just hysterical to watch because she's so intimidating on screen.
Right.
But then she's like wrapping Edmund into like the cloak because it was so cold, whatever.
She's got a great sense of humor. She's very,
So-
very easygoing. I've noticed that in her interviews.
But then the kids are like, why are they all wearing green? I'm like, well, it's the green screen so they can put the effects of the goat legs on them. They're like, oh. So it was like kind of a little educational for them because they
Actually, a great DVD to watch the extras of, if you have it, is Sin City.
Really?
That because
I can't show that at work.
No, I just mean your own personal time.
Yeah, we have that.
Because
So do we.
It's amazing the behind the scenes stuff on how they made that movie is fascinating. It's amazing. So
I still haven't seen that, but
it's an interesting movie.
yeah,
Oh, I've seen it.
I have friends who've seen it.
even
and
though you
didn't
couldn't
like
watch it at work,
Yeah, I didn't watch it at work. I didn't watch it at work. But
and another good independent train movie, a zombie, a Korean zombie movie, Train to Busan. It's so good.
One that comes to mind, we haven't talked about yet, Stranger Things. That is a great story.
I have not. I've seen season 1. I've forgotten most of it, but I have not seen season 2 yet.
I think that's one of the best
They go into the Upside Down.
sci-fi originals in years. it's
an original idea.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I agree. I did enjoy
amazing,
the first season. Like I said, I haven't seen second, so I can't see how they followed it up. There was sophomore
So
jinx,
good.
or did they nail it?
There was a lot more tap dancing in it.
Oh,
and-
really?
Yes, and there was some sideshow animals. And
Okay,
it
good.
was great.
It was different. It was no. They nailed
Burlesque,
it.
a little burlesque.
A little burlesque.
Yeah.
There was a couple of things that I could have done without in the second season, but not enough to really ruin it for
Gotcha.
me. It really expanded on the mythology.
And growth of characters or non-growth of characters.
Oh, really?
There was some really neat stuff in it. I thought it was amazing.
And I got one of my new favorite lines from it.
Tell me.
It was about nougat.
Okay.
You eat it, then your face opens up and you eat the cat.
Okay.
And Monk's response was, "That's what you're going with?"
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And she goes with it a lot. It's
And I
pretty
say that a
funny.
lot. Then your face opens up and you eat the cat.
All right. Oh, well, that's context. I'm going to need some.
Yes, you need to go
you're
watch
going to
it.
have to go watch it.
Yes, you do.
So what else? What do we got left on the things we wanted to cover today? I think we've done pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the last note here. 2 new Justice League comics.
2 different titles.
Billy, were you aware of this?
No, I've been bad. I've sort of fallen off the new comic wagon. I haven't kept up, so I don't know. I know that there's an Archie meets Batman 66 coming out soon.
Uh-oh. That should be interesting.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't know.
What are you hearing, Cher?
Well,
She's researching right now.
I should have had this pulled up.
So now I get to vent my ass off again.
Well, I figured that that Billy would know about it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
Whoops.
sorry, I didn't.
Something about no justice?
One,
Are they doing a Dark Justice thing again?
yes, one is Dark Justice.
I like Dark Dead Man and Phantom Stranger, that crew.
Oh, I vaguely remember seeing something about that now that you mention it.
I know they were going to do an animated movie, and I'm pretty sure it's out.
Well,
I have
these
fallen
are
off on a lot of those.
comics.
Mm-hmm.
These are they're like 2 new ones that they're starting, and I thought that was really weird to be doing 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah, you mentioned that to me, and I started looking that up, and I forgot.
yeah.
Bad assistant producer.
Bad assistant.
Bad.
Okay, here it is. DC reveals a pair of new Justice League comics.
Okay.
So if it will ever open,
Nope.
Doubt it.
Dun, 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 dun. Nothing.
white
Still nothing.
screen.
Still nothing.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Well, I see
Fly the
this
white
one from
flag.
January. It says DC's No Justice sets the stage for new Justice League comics, starting with a follow-up to Dark Knight's Metal.
Yeah, Justice League Dark and Justice League Odyssey
Oh, there
Okay.
it is. I got it.
are the 2 of them.
Justice League Odyssey sounds interesting.
Yeah. Dark will be written by James Tinian IV with art by penciler Alvaro Martinez. Inker Raul Fernandez and colorist Brad Anderson. Wonder Woman is the leader with the members Swamp Thing, Detective Chimp, Man Bat, and
I love Man Bat.
and Zatanna.
Okay.
Odd group, but
What?
John Constantine, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, and
Okay.
Detective Chimp.
I missed
All
the
right.
Constantine.
I can
Oh
see-
no,
I-
Constantine's not on my list.
I can see Constantine and
It
Zatanna working
says
together.
replace Wonder Woman at the
Yeah,
center of a
that's why.
team dedicated dealing with the magical with other members, including John Constantine, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, and fresh from his appearance in the recent Dark Knight's Metal event series, Detective Chimp.
Detective
Okay.
Chimp.
And then
Is that
Odyssey.
who I think it is? Is that like,
Lancelot Link? No, that's Secret Chimp.
Yeah. And then Odyssey, the
There's multiple
team
chimps.
is Starfire, Cyborg, Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz, Azrael, and Darkseid.
Love Azrael.
Darkseid is on the Justice League?
Yes.
New God's villain, Darkseid.
Yeah, nicknamed Justice League Space. They'll take on cosmic threats opened up at the end of Metal.
Wow.
Is a crazy space western.
Okay. That should be interesting.
And can I tell you, every time I hear the name Azrael, I still think of the cat from Smurfs. Every single time.
See,
Okay, Gargamel.
I've had it in my head enough since Azrael.
From the Smurfs?
No, was Batman. Since he was Batman, I have never thought of Azrael as the cat since then.
Well, see, I don't read comics, so
I couldn't afford to read comics, so I was reading other people's comics.
There you go.
And I read that whole series.
So, yeah.
Yep. So those are the two.
Azrael's a cat.
But they're having two
Interesting.
new ones. And I guess they're bringing a second Teen Titans also.
Comic book series, introducing a new number of characters to the team.
I'm hearing rumors that
These
Teen
are-
Titans are going to have a new season of the animated series back to the original
Yes, back
art
to-
and storylines.
Mm-hmm.
They're going
Monk will die.
they're going to set Teen Titans Go that abomination aside, and they're going to go with Teen Titans, and it's going to be a final season that they're going to do a wrap up with it. So it's supposed to be like some heavy duty stuff going on. So that should be interesting because Teen Titans have kind of become one of their premier teams over on DC.
Yeah. Lana will be thrilled.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because
it was a good series.
It was a really good series.
And that's why she's working on the cosplay.
Well, it says it may return.
Oh, so we're still in the possible stage?
Yes.
Go back to the positive
Yes, it may
speech that
return.
we had earlier.
I'm wondering if they
it
threw
will.
that.
It will happen.
And this be one of the points we can start wrapping up with. I'm wondering if DC threw that out there, the may return thing, to gauge response. And with the outpouring, they'll be like, okay, let's go with it because there's going to be an audience for it. Let's go with it. And now I'm going to jump completely into a different Lou entirely. Way back when Peter Capaldi took over as the 12th Doctor, somebody released this fan edition of what the opening title should look like. And then all of a sudden the BBC reached out to him and said, hey, we're going to use that. So they used it, and it became the main title sequence for Peter Capaldi's Doctor series.
The steampunk one?
Yeah, with the clock and everything.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
recently,
a nice one.
recently somebody released a quote-unquote fan-generated version of what they think Jodie Whittaker's opening is going to look like, using a lot of the artwork that BBC just released with the new logo release that they did a couple weeks back. My theory is are we now on? Have we discovered BBC's new trick? They're going to see how the opening works with the audience before they actually release it as the opening, and then they can say, well, if it falls flat on its ass, then we can go ahead and turn around and we'll do something different for the actual release. But the artwork and the cinematic and the cinema quality of this quote unquote fan created opening for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor was so spot on that I got to thinking, I'm like, this is going to be it. This is the new Jodie Whittaker opening, and we're just seeing it for the first time, and BBC is trying to see how it's playing. That's my thought right now. So I'm wondering if this is kind of a new technique. We're going to start throwing these things out, or maybe it's an old technique and just we're savvy to it now. We're going to start throwing these things out and seeing what the audience reaction is. And if it's not good, then we'll just quick change it and go, that was something clever. That was some prototype stuff, but we're past that. Here's the good stuff now. I don't know. So that was my thought. Did you see it? Did you happen to see that?
No.
Jodie Whittaker? Oh, it's
haven't seen it yet.
it's cool. It was cool.
I'm just so looking
Now we
forward.
have something else to look at.
I am serious.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor now.
Yeah.
I'm fully on board with this.
Yep.
So
No, I sometimes some of the fan made stuff. I'm just like, why won't somebody listen and do this?
yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen the fan made
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern?
I knew exactly where you're going because it was awesome. They had Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern.
In live action.
Live action.
In live
Green
action.
Lantern.
I knew
They
because I know
did
he
a
voiced
fan-
it in a few of the
Yeah.
animated.
Yes.
Well, because
And
they
used
were
it.
able to take some of those lines from
Okay.
it, but they did a fan made.
And Nathan played in as Hal Jordan.
No, I mean they
No.
took pieces from different.
Oh, I see. I understand.
From different stuff and put it together.
Okay.
with-
as if it were
him.
as
Okay.
if it were a what's the word I'm looking for?
Trailer.
Trailer.
Okay.
It's a fan made trailer
I have
for
not seen this.
Greenland. It's been around for years. I'm surprised you haven't
Okay.
run across it. And I'm like, we're like, that's the movie we want.
I will
And then-
take a look at it.
And then it wasn't him.
And then it wasn't. Yeah, because
was-
it was before Ryan
It was before
Reynolds.
Ryan
Okay.
Reynolds. And, I haven't seen it yet.
What,
which
the Ryan
is-
Reynolds Green Lantern?
Yeah.
It's decent. It's not
The
bad. It's
reason
just
being
not great.
was that was one of the last movies my father went to see.
I see.
And it's been hard to want to go see it.
I get you. I get you. That sentimentality quality.
Yeah.
That's important.
But he went and saw it with my sister, and it was cool. They loved it, but
Okay.
I haven't been to it yet.
Gotcha.
Haven't been to watching it yet.
It's gonna be one of those moments for you, man.
Yeah, I'm
You
sure.
got to get to it on your own time, though. All right, Billy, how we doing over there?
We've been talking for a while.
Okay.
Do you want to know? Minute or hour 18?
Hey, not bad.
No.
We can definitely we can chew the fat in this team. This is a good team right here.
We've been
and it's
good.
easier because nobody's on the phone, so I don't have to worry about missing on anybody. You know?
Just random noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
How about
Which
we
is
take a
good.
quick break? We'll
Sure.
talk about some events, and we'll wrap this puppy up.
Okay, Jerry Seinfeld talking about his Superman costume.
Beautiful.
Oops, hold on 1 second. I always mess this up.
It's all right. We still love you.
Okay, let me just pot that up. And
Not
then,
like Susan loves you, but we love you nonetheless.
Yeah, okay. Jerry Seinfeld.
So I had my little costume. I was physically ready. I was preparing myself. I did not try on the costume prior to Halloween. Do you remember this? This is an obscure one, but on the side of the box, I remember this on my Superman costume. It actually said, "Do not attempt to fly." They printed that as a warning because kids were putting it on and going off the roofs. I love the idea of the kid who's stupid enough to think he actually is Superman, but smart enough to check that box before he goes off the roof. So anyway, but my hopes were up. I was thinking that this is probably the same exact costume that Superman wears himself. And you put these things on, it's not exactly the super fit that you are hoping for. It looks more like Superman's pajamas is what it looks like. It's all kind of loose and flowing, and the neckline kind of comes down about there. Flimsy little ribbon string in the back. Plus my mother makes me wear my winter coat over the costume anyway. I don't recall Superman wearing a jacket. Not like I had cheap corduroy, phony fur. Boy, I'm Superman, but it's a little chilly out, and I'm glad I've got this cheap little 10-year-old kid's jacket.
So we are back. We've had some good conversations lately. I'm enjoying this. We're hitting a stride, I think. I really feel good about this. This has been a lot of fun. So here we go. We got an event to talk about. We're good usually at the beginning of the third act. We'll talk about upcoming events. We have one right now, and it is
the premier flagship event.
It's the thing. It's the big fella, the Flower City Comic-Con. We talk about it all the time, but we're going to start pitching it because she's coming up. And June 9th and 10th at the Floriano, Rochester Riverside Convention Center, Flower City Comic-Con 2018 show, featuring all of your friends from the Mighty Monkey Corporation and such faces as Caitlin Blackwood, Catherine Sutherland, Eric Avari, Beth Broderick, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Diana Lito, and a host of other folks. And I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're hitting a stride, I think, at this point. We're starting to kind of really get our way of doing this down.
If I don't get to meet Eric Avari, I quit.
Well, show up. And then I will introduce you in person.
All I got to say.
Tickets are available for the 2018 Flower City Comic-Con at the following locations in and around Rochester. First Print Comics, 13th Verse Comics, Blades for Life at Puff Palace, End Zone Collectibles, Rhinos Comics and Collectibles, Comic Book Heaven, All Heroes Comics, Comic Etc., Yankee Clipper House of Cards, Hammer Girl Anime, and Wonderland Comics. If you can get to any one of those locations, you too can pick up tickets for FC3 2018.
And if they can't get there, they can go to our website and get them.
Yes, they can. You can be ordered online. You will also be able to buy them at the door the days of the convention.
We also have the Friday night launch party.
We will have the Friday night launch party, which we'll be talking about at length, ad nauseum. We're also going to start doing some introductions of our various vendors, maybe using some stuff about the staffers. You know, you're going to be hearing a lot over the next couple of months about this show. Next month and a half.
It's around the corner.
Around the corner, lurking. It's peeking around the corner, going, "Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. How you doing? I'm over here." It's happening. It's a thing. Everyday Heroes. This week's Everyday Hero shout-out comes once again from Maria Giesler. Hi, Maria. This week, she would like to nominate her sister, Clara, who is a registered nurse in a hospital in Connecticut. She is her hero because she is doing what she loves to benefit other people. Thank you, Clara, for being Maria's hero and ours. If you have an Everyday Hero, make sure you get that out to Sherry, and we will do a shout-out for you. And now let's jump into the question of the week. Which fictional side characters do you wish had more story time, and why? Sherry, can you give me an example of what you're thinking in terms of side characters?
Well, the reason why I picked this one is because a lot of times in books and movies, I want to know more about you find out so much about the main characters, but sometimes there's these side characters that just you're like, what's their story?
Okay.
I want to know more about them.
Okay.
Shepherd Book.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, I can address that in Shepherd. There's the 3 graphic novels.
Yes.
That go back into his history.
But that was our thing.
Right.
That right there. We want to know.
Yeah.
So we were able to find out.
I don't
So
know
that was
if I
great.
would consider him. I don't know if they're
A side character.
Yeah, he was
When
main
it came to the
cast.
movie,
But
when
it's
it came
it's
to
a
the
good
movie.
To the
example.
movie, yes,
But
but that's
It's a good example, though. Like maybe in Star Trek, the original series, Lieutenant Riley, who gets drunk in one episode and starts singing Irish shanties while shutting down the Enterprise's engine. I want to know a little bit more about Lieutenant Riley. So now that we have that example in play, don't look at me in that tone of voice, Tanya. Tanya Fabulous.
Really?
I'm trying to come up with an innocuous example because I don't want to step on anybody's possible
I have not even
ideas.
a clue who that name is.
Then my nerd cred's better than yours. Deal with it. Billy.
Well, that was
I'm
true.
going to come to you first. What side character do you wish had more story time and
I was
why?
thinking about this, and because I've been watching a lot of Star Trek Next Generation lately, a few episodes a week, I'd love more. There were a couple episodes for each of these characters, and I'd love more. Ensign Rowe and Reg Barkley.
Okay. Definitely. Barclay shows up in Star Trek Voyager, but that's more of it's his reoccurring role, and you get the impression he's still this nervous guy.
Yeah,
But
I
he
always
comes
liked him
into
because
his own a bit.
A little bit.
In Voyager, towards the end of Voyager.
he
really at the end.
Yeah.
I liked him. He was obviously you weren't sure what he was about the first episode he was in. But I'd like to know more about him and Ensign Rowe. I like both of those. So.
Okay. All right. And Ensign Rowe, played by Michelle Forbes, great, the character, the Bajoran.
She was the character that eventually became Kira.
Was supposed to be Ensign Rowe.
It was supposed to be Ensign Rowe.
But Michelle Forbes didn't want to commit to Deep Space Nine, so they transformed her into Kira.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting to see how that would have played out. If it would have been a lot. I mean, I'm sure the story would have been relatively the same, but it would be interesting to see how Michelle Forbes would have handled it instead of not a visitor. But there we go. How about you, Tanya?
Liked them both. So
Yeah, well, they were both cool.
And there'd be one less child in the world.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Go ahead, Don.
I don't know. I think I would probably be with Alana. I need to know what happened in Budapest.
Absolutely.
You know, I really
the
need
movie.
to know
That's what we need.
that they remember Budapest differently. So I think that,
So what happened in Budapest?
yes, I really want to know now. Just they keep dropping those hints and things like that. And
No, it's only the one hint.
well,
That's
yeah,
the only
but,
time that.
But still,
But it's such
enough.
a great hint.
Yeah, and that hint
just
has lasted for years.
Sure, it'll be fun, just like Budapest.
You and I remember Budapest very differently.
So yeah, I think that would probably be the one that I would like.
But you want to know more about Hawkeye altogether.
Hell yeah! I don't care that he's married in the movie.
Yeah.
He's whatever type thing.
In her next life, Tanya wants to be Linda Cardinelli.
Yeah. Okay.
How about you, Cher? Do you have a character in mind?
Well, I would. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do TV.
Okay.
And I'm going to go back a couple of years to Buffy.
Okay.
I want
Always
to
a good
know
series to talk about.
Oz.
Okay.
Oh, I liked Oz.
Loved Oz.
Seth Green's Oz was a great character.
And I want to know what happened to him after.
Okay.
When he left. I want to know about the time he spent away where he got so zen about the whole werewolf thing.
Gotcha.
And then after his last being seen there. I want to know what happened to Oz. Oz was an awesome character. I think he was one of the best side characters the show ever had. And I want to know more about him.
Very cool. I like that idea. That's a good idea. How about you, Christopher?
Oh God, I have no idea.
No?
You know, the one person that comes to mind because you guys were talking, because Billy was talking about Star Trek. Suitor. How he became that way.
I don't know.
Oh, in Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
Yes.
Played by Brad Dourif.
Yes.
Because Brad Dourif plays a great psychopath. And he was
Psychopath Beta Z.
Yeah, a Betazoid psychopath serial killer.
Yeah.
And played by
What
Brad
happened to
Dourif.
him that he became that way?
Yeah, what triggered that?
I
What
have
did he
to go
run
back
into?
and rewatch the series because it's not ringing a bell.
He was.
bell
It
whatsoever.
was early. It was like
Yeah.
second season, maybe I think. And it was only over a few episodes, and you don't see him again, even though
He died.
Yes.
Oh, did he die?
You
He
see
ended-
him. You see him later on, and he
You
dies.
see him a couple
Yes.
times, and he dies a hero.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Because that's always the redemption story is always fun.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons I really like that character.
Okay.
Plus, you see him in other things, and he's just
He's really good at playing that
What was it?
character that doesn't quite fit all the way.
Exorcist.
Uh-huh.
Exorcist 3.
Yeah. He was freaky in Exorcist.
And then you
in
throw him
Dune.
in. Dune?
He was one of the Mentats in Dune.
Oh, I've never seen him.
Okay.
I never sat through it all.
The
because I didn't
David Lynch
understand it
Dune.
when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Have a couple bottles of wine ready.
And then, you go into Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and-
Wormtongue.
Yeah.
Right.
No, he's one of those actors that you're just nobody actually says, "Oh, you know who's a great actor?"
Yeah.
But he's great in everything.
everything.
Yeah.
But he plays such creepy characters.
He does. He's kind of typecast in that regard.
Kind
I don't.
of like creepy characters. So.
But yeah, oh no, he was a fascinating character. Yeah, that's a good one.
You ready for mine?
Go for it.
Biggs Darklighter. Luke's best friend, the
Not
guy who
shocked.
dies in the trench.
Oh, Biggs.
Yeah, Biggs, who
Biggs. I didn't
dies
hear
in the
what you said.
trench in the original Star Wars movie. All right. There in the extended cut, you do see this.
You see
brief-
more of him, yeah.
You see a little bit more of him, like in just as they're getting ready to go fight the Death Star. They have their little reunion, and whatnot. And there's a couple of you can find it on YouTube. You can find scenes that were taken on. They were in Tatooine together when Biggs is about to go take off to go
Yeah,
join the.
I've seen those.
That you see some of that stuff, but I would like to.
Was he friends with Wedge too? They were all
No, Biggs and Wedge meet when they join the Rebel Alliance together.
Okay.
And they become pilots together, and so that's how they kind of but they were never, they didn't know each other before that.
Okay.
But I would love to see some stories about Biggs and Wedge together. But yeah, I want to know more about that because I'll be honest, I don't read your questions of the week ahead of time. You had just the prep notes, but I always read it and I start thinking about because I want the answer to be more organic in my head. So that was the first thing that popped in my head was Biggs Darklighter.
Yeah.
So that's who I would like to see a side story about because I think that there needs to be more there. Yeah. Because I always thought it was cheap that Luke sees he talks about his best friend a long time, at the early part of the movie, he talks about it, and then he shows up at the end and then dies.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was cheap service to Biggs. That was awful. Yeah. But all right, so that's my thing there.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else to add?
Pretty much everybody on Firefly.
Everybody on Firefly. They all have stories.
They all have
don't
stories
they?
that never got told. Especially the one you said Shepherd Book, Wash.
Yeah, absolutely.
He must have a fascinating. How does somebody who grows up on a planet that you can't even see the stars eventually become a deep space pilot?
Well, I would assume that's probably the part of the reasoning was because you can't see the stars.
And I want to know about the planet where they juggle ducks.
It's the mustache.
That's
it's
the mustache.
The mustache. Yeah.
The mustache is why he became a pilot.
Kaylee, Inara, they all have stories that you would want to know more about.
But Kaylee, we got some of her backstory. We know who her father was. We know what planet she's from. We know how she came to do different things. We know less about Wash. We know a lot less. We know less about Zoe.
True.
But we do know she was in the war, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But
Wash,
how did she get
Wash
there?
is definitely one of my...
Wash, but you get very little of his backstory. Just that he's a great pilot. He had... How did he... was he in the war? It doesn't seem like he was in the war. No. How did he stay out of the war?
He was a video gamer. He was in the World Championships, and that's how he learned how to fly. It was all...
Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Simulation.
So Wash,
yes.
Wash was Ready
Oasis.
Player Two.
He was in the Oasis.
And
Virtual
that would,
reality.
Whoever had the most
and Alan
quarters
Tudyk could do
back
that.
then won.
That's it.
They did the flight simulations.
And plus, I just want to just see more of Alan Tudyk in pretty much anything. Which, if you want to see Alan
Did you watch
Tudyk...
Purgatory?
I watched some of it, yeah. But if you... I know most of you guys haven't seen it. Dollhouse?
Oh, my God.
Him in Dollhouse is like
Some of his
nothing you've ever seen.
best work.
Oh,
my God.
He's so amazing in that.
All right.
Actually, in 42. the Jackie Robinson movie.
Oh, is he in that?
Plays the racist man.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I actually read an article about that, about why he was the perfect person to play that role, that it was very difficult for him, but he was the perfect person to have somebody that's so universally likable play such an awful character.
Yeah.
Because it really brought home the whole idea of is that you can like this person, but they're still a racist piece of crap.
Right.
So, I actually thank you, Billy. I've been wanting to see that, and I totally forgot about that after I read that article.
Yeah,
hey, Billy, we've run out of things to talk about today.
Okay, then let me hit.
So you punch a couple buttons, and there it is. And this has been Monkey Business, brought to you by your friends at the Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic-Con, coming at you June 9th and 10th, 2018, at the Floriano Rochester Riverside Convention Center. Love us on Facebook, love us on Patreon, and love us as you find us on the street, because we will give you hugs. I guess that's a thing. So we're done for the day, and we will see y'all next week. Have a great one.